What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Just a little afternoon show for you guys and gals. We're talking Green Bay Packers here every single day, most of the time live. Every now and again, we'll upload a video or two that's not live. But for the most part, I like to just get in here and chat with people in the chat and talk on a live basis. Now, listen, we've got some information coming out of Packers practice today with Jayden Reed returning to practice. Also, Jordan Love seems to be taking a step in the right direction as well. As you guys know, man, we're closing in on week one for the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Man, I don't know about you. I am so excited. Listen, there's fall in the air down here in Tennessee. I know we woke up this morning. It was in the upper 40s. So you get that chill in the air. We know we've got Wisconsin Badger football tonight at Camp Randall Stadium, 8 p.m. Central Time. That's going to be a blast. We'll actually be going live for PTA this evening, Packers Total Access Live this evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll probably still be on the air about the time that game kicks off, so we'll be bringing you some information on that as well. It's football season, man, and what an exciting time. So what we want to do here real quick is give you guys an update on Jayden Reed, and then, of course, we'll give you the full breakdown later on tonight on PTA Live in terms of Jordan Love's status, everything else that happened at practice as we get ready for the Detroit Lions coming up. Before we do that, though, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us part of your afternoon. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. And we got a fun crew that gets in here and talks Packers. Listen, this isn't like an orchestrated sports talk show where, okay, you take that stance, I'll take this stance. It's all predetermined. We're just fans in here talking ball as if you're sitting at the local watering hole having a soda pop or two. So that's the goal here at PTA. But again, if you guys would, if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. We got Green Ranger in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you swinging through. Let's get into it. So Bill Huber put this tweet out earlier today, and he's talking about some of the other injury reports, which we'll get into that a little bit later when we get into the entire practice tonight. But just wanted to give you guys an update on Jayden Reed. You see him here running a little slant route. Looked like he had a coach kind of directing him there on which direction to cut, make him wait till the last second to cut on that foot. You guys know he's been battling with an injury, and listen. To me, he looks pretty good here, although I think you could tell there's some limitations, and there's going to be limitations with Jayden Reed. What I hope we can do is manage this, right, and control the workload on Jayden Reed. Maybe we can get other people in the mix in the slot a little bit more. Maybe it's Dontavion Wicks. You guys know the Packers like to throw him into the slot from time to time as well. Bo Melton was one that rotated in and out of the F last year. Obviously, he's going to be a full-time corner. It sounds like now that you won't see him as a wide receiver at some point throughout the season, but that's kind of what to expect there. Maybe Matthew Golden moves into that spot as well. I just like Matthew Golden in the Z better than I do him in the slot playing the F in Matt LaFleur's offense for the time being. Now, when Christian Watson comes back, maybe you mix and match a little bit, but I want to have him flexed out field side Z, stretching the field, opening things up for everything underneath. Another thing that's going to come into play is obviously Savion Williams' health as well. So again, that's just a quick little video of Jayden Reed at practice today. To me, given the state of the injury, and we're going to talk about that, we ran through it and had AI comb through the internet and get us all any and every information that we could find on the Jayden Reed injury and all of the latest updates. So we'll kind of see what everybody thinks in terms of those updates. But this, again, just a quick video of him tweeted out by Bill Huber. To me, he looks good. He looks like he's managing as best he can, and hopefully he doesn't re-injure that thing, which I can't imagine they would have him out there if they were concerned about him re-injuring the foot, obviously, or at least injuring it to a certain extent, right? A little bit deeper. So let's jump into it, man. Let's see what we uncovered here in terms of the Jayden Reed injury. So here's the latest. He returned to practice. Green Bay Packers wide receiver Jayden Reed returned to practice on Wednesday after dealing with a significant left foot injury. Though he did not feel 100% in practice with some limitations. You can kind of see it in the video. And here's the thing. As long as you're not at risk to tweak it, I can't imagine the doctors would let him go out there if they thought that in practice, running full sprint, making those cuts on that foot injury, that he could cause some significant damage. Now, obviously, the season gets going. You're taking live bullets, taking live reps. Things are going to happen. Here's the injury details. Jayden Reed has a Jones fracture, a break in his fifth metatarsal, hopefully I'm saying that right, the bone connecting the pinky toe to the base of the foot, which occurred when he cut wrong off his foot. This type of fracture is common in athletes and often requires surgery with a recovery time of a few months. However, depending on the severity of the injury, that's the other thing that comes into play is whether or not it seems like more times than not, players don't get surgery on this specific injury. But it is one of those things. I think it was Tauscher earlier today was talking about the fact that the pinky toe is about as far as you can get away from the heart in the human body. And obviously blood flow is what controls the healing process, what speeds the healing process up. So that's why it's something that on that particular foot injury, you need that extra blood flow to help heal it quicker. That's why it's probably going to linger around a little bit longer, right? Comparison to other injuries, this injury is not a Liz Frank fracture. I think I read this in Wildy's article. You guys make sure you go check out Jason Wildy's article over at it's channel 3000. I tweeted it out. You can go to my Twitter account at Packers_access. You can find that article there. Great write-up by Wildy covered in that. So the injury is not a Liz Frank fracture, which could have sidelined him for the season. Reed previously dealt with an unrelated toe injury on his right foot earlier in camp. So now we're getting confirmation, it seems, that these were two separate injuries. Okay, now you've got obviously the Jones fracture, that's separate from the toe injury he sustained in camp. So there's been a little bit of confusion there. Hopefully that clears that up. Management and outlook. Reed plans to manage the injury with rest and treatment, intending to play with the Packers in the Packers regular season opener on September 7th against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field. He acknowledges it's not ideal to play through, but accepts it's a part of the game. Can we just take a second and appreciate Jayden freaking Reed willing to go out there and risk the rest of his season here just to make sure, hey, I'm on that field. And I see some fans listen, you get multiple reports or multiple responses, I should say, from fans. You get some fans that are a little bit nervous, like, hey, man, why don't we just get it fixed and have him back for the playoff run, right? And I can understand that stance. We get other people that are like, hey, man, let him play through it. And then if it takes surgery, then you can, adjust on the fly just as you go. It seems like that's what Jayden Reed and the team's choosing to do. Then you get these knuckleheads that want to call him soft. He's made of glass. He's this, he's that. No, this dude's a competitor. This dude's a warrior, man. This is your slot receiver last year. In Matt LaFleur's offense, who just took an absolute beating. And by the end of the year, he was so banged up that they were having to limit his reps toward the end of the season. That's not a man made of glass. That's a man that's a freaking warrior, and they're taking shots from backers and safeties rotating down in the box. I just love the energy that Jayden Reed brings to the table. I love the fact that his rookie year, he called that he didn't even call it. He was at his locker in Pittsburgh when they dropped that tough loss on the road to the Pittsburgh Steelers his rookie year, not last year, the year before. And they said, and reporters said that all of a sudden receivers kind of gathered around his locker, and he, as a rookie, was the one kind of rallying the troops. And you think, okay, yeah, some people aren't into that rah-rah stuff. They're into it when you're leading receiver on the team. He led the Packers in receiving yards last year and the year before his rookie year, right? I think receiving touchdowns as well. So when you got fruit on the tree, when you got a guy who's actually performing on the field, that's when those words actually mean something. Not somebody who's rah-rah and he's not willing to lay his body on the line for his teammates. I think that he's a leader in this locker room, and I love that he's setting the tone. Maybe he's not setting the tone, but maybe he's following the lead of Jordan Love, who's not going to make any excuses. He's got the thumb injury. It'd been real easy to say, you know what, let me just sit out this entire practice, forget 7-on-7s, forget everything in between. Let me just kind of play it safe. He is out there every single snap, every single rep that the coaches will let Jordan Love on the field. So it kind of feels like Jayden Reed and Jordan Love are lockstep in that regard. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline of the injury. The injury was first noticed publicly during the August 9th preseason opener against the New York Jets, where Reed was seen in an orthopedic boot on his left foot. He had missed the August 7 practice and nearly 3 weeks of rest before returning, which helped but did not fully resolve the issue. So maybe they've seen some improvement while he was resting those 3 weeks, right? Hopefully that's the case. And maybe that's why it's got them optimistic as to, rather than shut it down for the year, this thing's going to gradually get better as we go into the season. Let's hope that's the case. Coach's perspective, head coach Matt LaFleur expressed hope before practice that Reed could work without restrictions. Hopefully that is the case moving forward. Performance history in the first 2 NFL seasons, Reed led the Packers in receptions and yardage. There's the confirmation I was looking for. 64 catches, 793 yards, 8 touchdowns in 2023 as a rookie second-round pick, and 55 catches for 857 yards and 6 touchdowns in the following year, obviously there in 2024. Durability, despite various injuries, including the significant shoulder injury in the January NFC wildcard playoff loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, which took 4 months to heal, Reed has played in 36 of 37 possible games, including playoffs, over the first 2 seasons. So anyone who's saying he's soft, he's made of glass. If you think a player who has played in 36 of the 37 games that since he's been in the league, I'm sorry, man, you've lost your mind. You're reaching. You're really, really reaching there. Teammate context. Fellow receiver Dontavion Wicks also missed time with a calf injury. Both downplayed concerns about the offense's readiness due to missed time with quarterback Jordan Love. And personal reaction, Reed expressed joy at being back on the field with his teammates, trusting the recovery process, and following protocol to perform at his best despite the ongoing issues. So again, what you've got here in Jayden Reed, man, you've got a young leader, a young emerging leader on the Green Bay Packers. This is a guy that I think is going to be poised for a second contract. You think about the landscape of the receiver room. You're willing to pay 2 guys top dollar, in my opinion, at one time. That's the blueprint for a roster that I kind of follow, okay, is you'll pay 2 receivers damn near top money if they're worth it. So now you've got Romeo Doubs in the contract year. You got Christian Watson in the contract year coming off of the ACL. You've got Dontavion Wicks, 2 years left on his deal, right? Don't have to worry about that right now. Jayden Reed, similar, right? Couple more years left on his deal. Don't have to worry about that at the moment. You got to make a decision between Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Which one of those guys are you going to extend? I would rather hold off, wait to the back half of the season, see if Watson comes back healthier than ever after the knee is fully healed, and see if he's still got that top end speed. Maybe you try to get him on a 1-year Bridget deal, or maybe you feel good enough that you go, okay, let's extend him. So there, bang, you've got one receiver making good money, and now you're set up for a Jayden Reed contract extension after next year, right? Now, guess what happens in 3 years after that? 4 from today, 3 from the point that we just mentioned. You're going to have a decision to make on Matthew Golden. Well, by that time, guess what? You're probably in the final or next to last year of a Christian Watson extension you gave him. You see what I'm saying? So everything falls into place to decide, do we move on from Christian Watson? Matthew Golden's the real deal. And now it's Jayden Reed and Matthew Golden are the top receivers in terms of pay scale, that type of thing. It doesn't mean you won't pay 3 receivers, but we all know with the cap and the capology that comes along with it, you got to make a decision. If you do decide to pay 3 receivers really good money, then you got to cut that out somewhere else. And now we're understanding why this Micah Parsons trade rumor might be a little more difficult than some fans want to make it out to be, is because if you do go and you get Micah Parsons, you trade for him, you pay him $45 million per, then guess what? You're going to be probably down to 1 receiver you're able to pay here in a couple of years. That's stuff that you got to factor in terms of modeling out the roster. Okay, so that's what's going on with Jayden Reed. And again, we'll give you all the updates in terms of Jordan Love and what happened at practice today. We'll give you all the practice updates. We're also going to take time this evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for PTA Live. We're going to dive into a little bit of the Detroit Lions what can we say here? A little preview, I guess you could say. We'll look at the Vegas lines. We'll look at how the lines move. We'll look at some of the Detroit Lions injuries, the same as we're dealing with injuries. We know they were a little banged up. They were carrying only 50 guys on the 53-man roster, right? So there's something going on there. Maybe they're looking to make a new move here before the season starts as well. So we'll dive into all that for PTA Live. Like I said, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit like. Make sure you click the bell icon so you're notified anytime we go live like this during the week. Again, this has been PTA. My name's Clayton, and go Pack Go.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.